Now, so two factors that influence workers' supply of labor. So the first one is substitution effect of rise in wages. Okay. So with the higher wages, workers will give a greater value to working than leisure because they know they are going to earn more money. But with work more profitable, there is a higher opportunity cost of not working. So therefore, they will substitute leisure with work. Follow? Okay. The substitution effect causes more hours to be worked as wages will rise. So therefore, it will go upwards, sloping upwards as the wages increases. Okay. Right. The next is income effect. So income effect is going to be the opposite. This occurs when an increase in wage causes workers to work in fewer hours. So yes, you're increasing the wages, but the people, because they can earn more money just by working 2 hours, then they prefer to work 2 hours rather than working 10 hours. They're going to get the same amount of money. This is because workers can get a higher income by working fewer hours. Therefore, they may work less. So there's no benefit in increasing wages. Okay. Therefore, after wage rise, workers may work less because they can get their target income with fewer hours spent working. Okay. So here we are. So that's what is happening here. So this is substitution effect at the bottom. You can see as obviously the wages are increasing. So from W0 to W1, here you can see they are offering more and more labor hours. Okay. But it will reach at a certain point, okay, where if you increase the wages, they're going to work less and less because they can obtain the same amount of money by working less hours. So therefore, you are saying here that increasing the wages will have disadvantage at a certain point because it will prevent people working more hours. Follow? Right. So market supply of labor. Okay. So the market supply of labor for a particular vocation will depend on a number of things. Okay. So the first is going to be the number of qualified people within that particular market. So for example, if the number of qualified accountants is low, the supply is going to be quite inelastic. So even if we are going to increase the wages, there are not going to be people coming. Remember, we know now this is elasticity, yeah, which we covered earlier on. Yeah, so it's a response. So increasing wages, but there are no people there. So what can you do? Which is the experience that the United Kingdom is facing. They can increase the wages for nurses, but there are no nurses in the market. So it is inelastic. It doesn't respond. Okay. For a job such as a fast food operator, the number of potential qualified people is actually a higher percentage of the labor force because you can train these people in a couple of hours, but the accountant requires 3 years, 4 years training him. Yeah, so it will take time, and that's again the same problem with the nurses. You can't train the nurses in a day. Okay. Yeah, so it takes 3 to 4 years to train a nurse. Yeah, so it is taking longer. So as a result, if there's a labor shortage within the market, even if you increase the wages, you're going to get nothing. So it is going to be inelastic. Yeah.
Yeah.
The second point is difficult of getting qualifications. Okay, some qualifications take longer. For example, law. Yeah, it takes you 6 to 7 years to study law. Medicine takes you 6 to 7 years to study medicine. Okay. So therefore, it's difficult to get those qualifications. Although I've seen in a newspaper, I think from last month, I've seen it somewhere they are advertising to do medicine in 3 years. I was very surprised. Yeah, very, very surprised. If it took me 4 years to do paramedic, I can't believe that medicine can take 3 years. Yeah, so it is difficult to get the qualification, so therefore supply is going to be inelastic. Okay, again, it's the same problem NHS is facing. For example, even if wages of economics teachers, for example, rose, the supply would be quite inelastic. To become a qualified would take it several years. Okay.
Yeah.
The other point, which will be the problem, is the actually wage benefit of a job. So unpleasant jobs will have fewer people willing to do them. Therefore, supply will be relatively lower. And this is what England also experienced, particularly these low-skilled work jobs like harvesting. You find that they rely on people from overseas rather than their own people here. We also had difficulties, especially the time I just arrived in UK for care workers. I still, at the moment, we still have got a problem with care workers because not many people have become care. So although many unpleasant jobs such as cleaning are relatively low skilled, so they still be low paid. So that doesn't help them either. Then the wages and the conditions of other jobs, which are more attractive than the jobs that you are looking at. So if many jobs in a local area are considered unpleasant, e.g. fruit pickers, which I was talking about, then the supply of alternatives will relatively be high. So therefore, yeah, it is going to be elastic. Then demographic changes and immigration, which still gives me a memory of one day when I was working in the hospital. The whole hospital was a 60th floor hospital in the United Kingdom. And we were all foreigners. So nurses, doctors, all were foreigners. And I still remember this old woman crying. I said, "Why are you crying?" She says, "I'm feeling sorry for ourselves. You see, all of you, you are foreigners. Where are our people?" Okay. And she was frightened that in a due course, the whole country will only have foreigners. I said, what happens if you go to your own mom to look after your own and
Yeah.
says,
Exactly.
"Don't worry." But
One
then
job.
probably, yeah, you'll have others to look after you. Yeah, so some jobs such as fruit picking are unpopular with the native born workers, okay, and rely on immigrant labor. If immigration slows down, there can be vacancies in these particular jobs. Post-Brexit vote farmers reported difficulty in filling labor vacancies due to a slowdown in immigration. Unfortunately, they are not learning because I've seen it somewhere. There's something I think they have changed, and I'm not sure why. So immigration is still becoming problematic in terms of recruiting people from overseas.